So this is what we gathered, based on the guesses of people, right? So these are the number of candies. I wasn't gonna write all the names because there's way too many, but here are all the ones, and I think I was able to verify that Max and Mr. Rodriguez, the other Mr. Rodriguez, are the winners.
Let's go.
Yeah, so 4 was the closest. Okay. So here's the thing. Remember we were talking about. What's up?
Sir, you mean +4 or -4?
You did 132, right?
Yes.
I guess technically we could say you're -4. Mr. Rodriguez was +4. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, that's a really good point that Max brings up. Remember, we weren't worried about whether it was over or under, right? We were just worried about who got closest to it. Okay. And that's where our absolute value comes in. Okay. So here's kind of what I can do with this Excel, and I want you guys to pay attention to this because I want you guys to do the same thing. I want you to create sort of your own experiment, where we're gonna ask maybe like 15 people, and you guys come up with something, whatever it can be, and I'll show you guys some examples of what you can come up with. Okay, but here's what we do, and it's very simple. Okay, in an Excel sheet, I'm gonna put equals ABS. And what that basically says is that we're going to take the absolute value, and then this is our guess, and we're going to subtract. It was 136, right? Is that the number that it was? Do you guys remember?
Yeah, it's 136.
136. Okay. All right. So what happened here? We subtracted 75 minus 136, and it would have been a -61, but since we're taking the absolute value, it's just a +61. Okay, does this make sense? So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna come here. This is the the bottom right corner. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna drag it all the way down. All the way down to where the guesses are. There we go, and the rest of it fills out. Okay, so there's another one that was closest, was 130, but not close enough. These are the ones I think by like Mr. Nathan and Miss Canova or something. They were way off. For the most part, the people were.
So the one you gave us on Google Classroom is the one that you're doing now, right?
Basically, it's the exact same thing. It's just that it's empty. So like, whatever your guess is, whatever your distance, and we'll look at it right now, okay? Just so you guys can see. But anyways, so here's what we're gonna do. Okay, now we're going to highlight all these numbers. Okay, so I'm just clicking and holding, and I'm highlighting all the numbers. Okay, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna come here to insert chart. All right, guys, so before anything, how do you think our graph is gonna look like? What do you guys think this graph is going to look like? Because remember, this is like a scatter plot, so there's going to be points all over the place. But what is the shape that it's going to take, if a shape at all?
It's going to be.
Would it go like the smallest point up, or what?
So what kind of shape would that create? If you guys can make a guess there.
I don't know.
A circle.
A triangle.
A circle? Triangle? I mean, so we can see that the points are kind of all over the place, right? So let's think about this. This column A, that's our x-axis. Column Y, or sorry, column B is our y-axis. So again, I mean, think about it. How do you guys think that would look like? Yeah, what shape would it take? Another hint. What do you guys? What have we been studying this whole time, right?
Absolute value.
Absolute value, right? That was really creepy, Max. Thanks for that.
So it's gonna be like a V type thing then.
So you're saying it's going to be a V shape?
Yeah,
Right. So the parent function of an absolute value is going to be a V. So let's look at it. Pretty close, right? You can see it looks like a V, right? We got a couple of really bad guesses out here, but for the most part, they're all decently close. Okay. So we just created a chart here, basically the number of candies and the distance from the correct answer. Okay. So why does it end up looking like a V?
I don't
What was
know.
your question?
Why does it end up looking like this? Why does it look like a V?
I don't know, because it wanted to.
So remember that, and you can see right here, it gives you each point. Basically, it's like, my guess was 30, so it's 106 away. My guess was 38, so it's 98 away. And then we get a little bit closer and closer and closer until we get to the correct answer, which was 140, which is 4 away. Actually, Max, I don't think yours is in here, but all right. For some reason.
What now?
But anyways, so think about what we did, right? Remember that our closest, we were talking about which one was the closest guess, okay? So to do that, we took the absolute value, okay? So what does the absolute value create? If something is a negative, what happens?
Isn't it always the opposite?
Not the opposite. It's always,
I'm blanked.
it's always positive, okay? Because
Yeah, there you go.
if we have a negative 4, the absolute value is 4. But if we have a positive 4, the absolute value is still 4, right? As I was telling you, yours is 132, technically would be, the distance is negative 4. But since we're taking the absolute value, it would be a positive 4, okay? So that's why we have a V shape, okay? Because if you notice, none of these values go below the x-axis. So none of them are going to be negative, okay? This is what that means, okay? So let's just pretend, so what we created here was a graph, right? A V-shaped graph, okay?
Okay.
So let's think about the domain. What would be the domain here?
$350.
So let's just pretend again that this graph has, I mean, let's just pretend this graph keeps going, right? Like how I just drew it out here.
Wouldn't it be infinity?
Infinity, so say, what's another word for that?
Infinity.
Oh,
All real numbers.
Okay. What about, or all real numbers, or another way, let's try to do it in interval notation. Let's do negative infinity to positive infinity.
why is that so hard?
What?
It looks hard.
It looks hard.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things going on.
All right, it's fine. Don't worry. It's not that hard. Okay, so what about the range? What would be the range of this?
It's Hold on. Domain is X, right, sir?
Right? Domain is X. So the range, what would the range be?
Infinity, right? Or all real numbers or something?
Well, what is the lowest point that it reaches?
0.
Zero.
Or no.
No,
Yeah,
yes.
0.
So let's just do 0.
Oh, yeah. 0 is less than. Oh, never mind. 0 infinity. Oh, okay.
0 to infinity, right? Because we just do anything that is bigger than 0. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's talk about our minimum. So what is a minimum again? But we're talking about a minimum. What is the minimum of a graph?
I think Lindsay said she wants to answer this one.
Is that
Wait,
true,
what'd you
Lindsay?
ask?
What is the minimum of a graph?
The middle of the point or whatever.
Like you're saying the middle of the point as in like right here? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? So that would be the lowest point. And yeah, technically you're right. So what is the lowest point here? Okay, where does this graph meet?
Ooh, I don't know, like 148.
148?
I don't know.
Well, remember,
136.
huh?
136.
136?
Yeah.
So why do you say 136?
Oh, because that's the number that was in the amount of whatever was in there.
So the correct number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is our minimum. That is true. Okay. Okay, now in terms of a reflection, okay. Remember that if we split this graph in two like that, it should be symmetrical, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is this line? Okay, what is the equation for this line? And since it's a horizontal line, it should be x equals something.
X equals 136.
Exactly, x equals 136, right? Because that's the minimum point, and that's where the lines are going to split.
Gotcha.
Okay. So now let's think about a decreasing interval and an increasing interval. So when I'm talking about a decreasing, what does that mean?
Like the numbers that are the lowest.
Numbers that are the lowest. Okay. So when something is decreasing, let's look at this graph. And this graph, we're starting from here and we're going lower and lower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, we can say that our decreasing interval is from negative infinity all the way to 136.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, that's our. Let me just copy this because this is our decreasing interval. What about our increasing interval?
It'd be 136. Right?
Right.
130.
So
To infinity.
going up, so 136 all the way to infinity. Good. See, it's not so bad, right?
No, after you get it, it's not bad.
Okay. 136 to infinity. Good.
But what would it be? Hold up. Is there parentheses there? I can't see.
There is. So let me get a little bit closer. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So we have negative infinity to, or sorry, 136 to infinity, and negative infinity to 136. Maybe I should switch these around because.
Wait, what's the difference between with the brackets and the parentheses thingies again?
So remember that parentheses means that we do not include,
Uh-huh.
and
Bracket.
the brackets we do include.
Okay, gotcha.
So in this case, we're going to include 136 because that's our minimum point. So it goes all the way from negative infinity is going to decrease until we get to 136. and then it's going to start increasing from 136 all the way to infinity. Okay.
Gotcha.
And yes, I put down our winners here, Max and Jesse Rodriguez.
What's up with your 136? Ah, Max.
Wait, what'd you say?
Oh, you fixed it.
Yeah. Actually, that should be 136 and 0. Yeah. Because that's our minimum point is at 136 and 0, which is right here. So we move 136 on the X and we don't go up at all. Okay. All right. So we're going to do something. Sorry, what?
So the one that's on Google Classroom, we're making our own.
Right. So we're going to do something similar. And of course, you don't have to get as many numbers as we did. As long as I think you should be okay with maybe 10 or 15. Just ask.
Family.
Just ask whoever, right? But okay, let me see. Let me just give you guys some examples, okay? Let me try and zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so for example, how tall is the Empire State Building?
Pretty tall.
This one is how many minutes are the Harry Potter movies combined? Is that what it is? Yeah, how many minutes are all the Harry Potter movies combined? How many championships have the Lakers gone to? What year was Zac Efron born?
So
How many fans can be seated at the garden? How much fuel was in the space shuttle? How many calories in an Oreo McFlurry? Okay, so there's different things, but what's the point here? What are what would be a good experiment to do? Like, I mean, it has to be something that is numerical. It must have a correct answer.
I want to
And
do
some
the Harry Potter one, sir.
you want to do the Harry Potter one?
Yeah.
That's fine if you
I
guys.
want to do the Lakers one.
The what?
Lakers.
Lakers one? Okay. So yeah, you can do either one of these, doesn't matter, or you can come up with your own. This one, I think it's kind of funny. It says how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know how many does it take.
We actually did that once when I was in
10.
elementary school. I don't remember exactly how many it was, but I remember we did an experiment similar to that.
Well, if I do that one, I would have to take time out of my day to figure out how many licks it takes.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3. Like I'd be licking one down one.
I mean, it wouldn't be that long, I think. But for example, like something like this can be looked up, right? So,
Okay.
so here's the
I want to do the
idea.
Harry Potter one.
So here's the idea, guys. What I pretty much want you to do, and I put it up here in the classwork.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have your own absolute value spreadsheet. You're gonna open it up. And up here, you're gonna say, okay, let's say, Lindsay, you're gonna do how many
Minutes of Harry Potter
minutes
movies.
in Harry Potter movies? And I'm gonna, let me just extend this just so we can see it all. Okay. So let's just say people guessed 1,000, or sorry, 100. I don't know, 1,000. That's like 10,000. Some people did 1,300. I don't know. Some others think it's 120. Right. So all we have to do is just, ask people and make sure to tell them not to Google it, just to make a guess, It doesn't really matter who, just get 15 people to do that. And we're going to follow the steps that we did over here, right? So we're going to do, let's say the correct answer was 1,100. I don't know. I'm just making it up, right? So we're going to do equals absolute value. And then we're going to highlight this, and we're going to subtract my correct answer. Okay, so that guy's 1,000 away. These ones are 200. This one's 100, and this one's also 1,000 away. I don't know. Let's do 200 for this one.
Gotcha. So like can like even if I wanted to, like I can ask my classmates or whatever.
Yeah, of course. You can ask the classmates as well. But remember, guys, just don't look up the answer. Right? Just try to be honest with it.
Yeah, for real. Mm.
All right. So that's all we're doing. And I'm gonna post a video just so you guys can have the steps. But
Okay.
we're gonna highlight this, and then we're gonna go to insert chart. And it should automatically come out. And now obviously like you need a lot more to get the shape, right?
Yeah. So how many people do you want?
I would say maybe like the more the better, but like at least maybe like 15. Even if you can do 20 or something, that would be better. The reason why ours came out very like we had a pretty good shape was because we asked, let's see, how many did we ask?
We
We
had
asked about 50
58.
people, 55 people.
We asked every
We asked like half the school, so
yeah.
that's pretty good. Okay, and of course, once you have your graph, then at the very bottom, I did not put them on here, but at the very bottom, I want you guys to find the domain, the range, and all these information as well as the winner. Okay, so that should be our assignment. Is this something that we can do, you think?
Yeah. Wait, never mind.
When is it?
You guys have all week, so it should be due on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that should be plenty of time, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. So
Do we
that
have
that
another
should.
meeting tomorrow?
Sorry.
So here's the thing. I was gonna tell you guys.